start with this Tesla thing. I mean, the hits just never seem to stop coming for the company.
Yeah, it's becoming quite a wreck, isn't it, Charles? Now, here's the interesting thing. I mean, the stock isn't really reacting to a lot of this bad news. That's what's kind of interesting here, I guess, is if you're figuring out whether you should buy or sell. I think it's a wait and see on this one. We don't own it. We've owned it in the past, Charles, because, listen, we've talked a lot about the cash burn the company has. Elon Musk, by the day, seems to kind of be flying off the handle or flying on the handle more and more. So to me, this is a wait and see, but it is encouraging that the stock isn't getting slammed, although that brief interruption it had some weeks ago, it's recovered from as well. It's
recovered from that, and I think Musk just bought 33,000 shares around $300. You know, in the past, whenever he's announced that he bought his own stock, it's been a great time to buy it. Almost every single time that I remember, the stock has made a huge move right after that. So I know there's a big short position. He's putting his money where his mouth is. It's going to be an epic move in this stock, I would suspect, sooner or later. I just don't know the direction.
Yeah, and I love the comment about the short interest because you know as well as I do, when those shorts load up and there's a good piece of news, like let's say Tesla comes out with better production numbers in a couple months, that's going to scare those shorts right out of there and push the stock higher.
Yep, it is all set up for a classic short squeeze. All right, I got another one for you, Scott. President Trump tweeting about the Chinese phone company ZTE, quote, President Xi of China and I are working together to give massive Chinese phone company ZTE a way back into the business. Fast, too many jobs in China lost. Commerce Department has been instructed to get it done. What are your thoughts on that? You know, a lot of people are saying, why is the president talking about getting jobs done or created in China?
Yeah, and there's been a lot of jobs created in China already thanks to the U.S. and them stealing our ideas and obviously stealing our workers. So certainly that's already been done. You know, talk about a tweet that we thought we'd probably never read. And that's one. I know Trump sent thousands of those tweets we thought we'd never read. But that's one I would put close to the top because, my goodness, man, you know, this is a really interesting effort on behalf of, say, America, I guess, in general, on how we want to try to bridge these issues with China. And I think this is a good olive branch that he's extending out. Now, whether he's totally serious and whether it's effective, we'll see. But it's a good reach out to China to say, hey, look, we know that there's been some issues with some of the tariff talks and things. We'll work together on making sure that both countries at least benefit from maybe a sounder economic policy going forward.
Yeah, there's no doubt the market seemed to react positively when the tweet was put out there. Futures went higher. We've been higher ever since. You got a pocket of stocks that are doing extremely well. The telecom names associated with this. I mean, ZTE does a fair amount of business in this country. But does it hint to you, suggest to you that maybe we're closer to some sort of, I don't know, grand bargain, if you will, with China before that deadline?
Yeah, it does. Because, I mean, gosh, Charles, I mean, after we saw what happened with North Korea, I mean, anything's possible. And certainly in the Far East, I think it's definitely on a positive swing versus a negative one, which we were just at, you know, a couple months ago, to your point, rock the market. So to me, the market is telling you that at least for now, it believes things are on the mend versus, say, coming apart.
Scott, we turned 2 Tuesdays ago. It was a pretty stealthy move. Not with a lot of fanfare, and we had several sessions after that where the market had to climb off the canvas and make multiple 100-point moves on the Dow. Looks like bias has shifted to the upside. Are we now, do you think, maybe ready to go and retest that all-time high?
You know, I think we'll get close. I think at some point the market momentum is going to run out, just like it does on the downside, to which you pointed out. But, I mean, if you're sitting at home and what we've done for our clients, Charles, is we've been continuing to layer in cash positions to those tech companies that I'm almost tired of talking about, but they're working. You know, the Amazons, the Netflix, the Googles, all those companies. We own Microsoft as well, Apple, just because those are your cash flow heavy companies. Those are companies that are part of our lives today and tomorrow. And the fact that now sentiment has turned again, which is great. You got to ride that. But just remember, just like it did on the downside, it's going to run out. It's going to, say, abate. So you have to be ready for that turn in the tide. The one thing that has changed, though, I think, is inflation data has somewhat stabilized. And you've seen that in the interest rate picture. Rates have kind of stabilized around this, you know, 10-year level at 2.95, say 3%. Right. So that's why I think the market is getting comfortable here.
Scott Martin, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.